Hello, welcome back to the Creative Beam. So today we're going to be talking about something that nobody really likes to hear or ever wants to hear when a freelance client, prospective client, or your existing remote employer says, can we pay you less? So we're going to be talking about how you can navigate this kind of situation without underselling or undervaluing yourself. Before we get into the video, I want to say a very big welcome to my returning subscribers. Real MVP, thank you for always showing up. And if you're new here, special welcome to you. You're going to be a returning subscriber as well because you're going to love it here. Okay, so let's get into the video. When you are asked, can we reduce your pay or can you lower your freelance rate, what should you do? Before you jump in and say, oh yes, because you really want a job or because you really want the gig, I want you to first of all know if there's any issue for them asking for lower rates, because sometimes you can end up even still losing the job or losing the gig in the case of a freelance situation if you don't really know the issue or the objection to them not wanting to pay you the rate that you usually charge. In the case of a freelance situation, you can just say, oh okay, if we adjust to this particular rate that you're comfortable with, are you ready to get started now? Asking this kind of question will let you know if it was all about the price. So if they're like, oh yes, we're ready to get started now, and then you people kick off, then you know that okay, it's just about the rate, maybe it was way over their budget. But if they are hesitating even after you're asking this question, then it shows that there is something else. It's probably not just the rate, and at that point you might just know that okay, maybe I shouldn't even get my hopes too high on this particular freelance gig. If it's in the case of a remote job and your employer tells you we might need to cut your pay or cut your hours, before you just say, oh, okay, let's do it because I want to keep the job, you say that in your head, you want to know, okay, what is the issues? That's if they don't tell you upfront why they're cutting your pay. You want to know, is it that okay, maybe there is budgetary concerns with the company, or maybe they're going through an economic downtown, and so instead of telling you that bye, they want to just ensure they cut pay. You want to understand, or is it that you've not been delivering great work and then they just decided that they're just paying you money and they're like, okay, so that we will not suffer so much loss, let's cut down the pay. So if it's because you'll not be delivering great work based on how you ask, you now need to know that you need to drag up your trouser and do greater work, because you might just be on your way out of that job. The next thing you want to do is, so let's say you are done with point one, then it's time for you to adjust your scope, not your value, because you're still doing valuable work. All right, so maybe if it's a freelance work environment, let me give an example. Let's say social media, you are offering social media management services, and normally in your rate is included social media management, is included, maybe you also do community management, and then maybe every month you send the report to the client just to give them that extra treatment. You might need to cut down on what you deliver. So maybe you just remove the report that you send or extra thing that you just do, because when you do that, it just shows that you value your time as well. And even though you want it to be fair to them, you also want it to be fair to you. So it should benefit both sides. In the remote work environment, what you can do is to understand, okay, the scope that I am now doing, what are the things that we can take away? Because if you're still going to be doing the same thing that is tasking for lesser pay, it might lead to resentment or demotivation. So you want to ensure that you have this conversation with your employer to see how you can meet in the middle. So once you have done number one, you have done number two, the third thing is assess your opportunity costs. And this is a cute way of saying, know whether you need to stay or walk away. So if it's in the case of like a freelance client and they tell you you need to cut your freelance rates, and after you have assessed it, you have looked at it from all angles, and you see that you're going to do this work unhappily because it's still like a lot of work for lesser pay, then it might be better to just skip it. Because do you know that if you take up that gig for a lesser pay, you are giving up the time and energy that you probably would have spent on another client that will pay you your usual rates or even a higher rate. So that is an opportunity cost you want to look at. Where you're like, should I stay or should I go? Another thing that you can also consider is, okay, if I take this, is it going to affect maybe my personal time or personal schedule? Because you just need to just know what is it that you're going to still lose besides just money. If it's a remote work environment, your employer comes to you and says, we need to cut your pay, or we need to cut the number of hours you work with us because we're going through an economic downtown, yada 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 yada, we're downsizing. You now need to know that, okay, do I still want to stay? Maybe you tried to have the conversation on scope, it didn't really go the way you wanted it to go, or maybe it even went the way you wanted it to go, but and not just happen. Maybe before you are even telling yourself that I was even managing to do this work at this rate, now don't cut the rate down. It might be time to start job hunting, my sister. So you can decide that, okay, maybe for the period of time, a couple of months, you give yourself a time frame that for this lower rate, maybe I'll just be here for like 6 months or less. Once I get another gig off, you can start planning your exit. So no one likes to hear that they are going to be paid lower salaries or lower freelance rates, but it happens because such is life. So but before you accept any rates, make sure that these three things, you have gone through them. You have known if there's any issue. Is the issue from you or is it just from their end? Number two, you need to now know, okay, what can I tweak in the scope? Or number three, you need to know it does not serve me. I need to walk away. So I wish you good luck, and I hope this really helped you and this really helped you to make better decisions in your work from home journey. I'll see you in the next video. Comment and subscribe. Bye.